Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, y'all saw it live, and now we're breaking it down. The Chiefs 31, the Raiders 0 in week 7 at Arrowhead. That's right, a shutout. This was a statement win against a division rival, and it was a flood of numbers, and we've got stories to unpack here. From Rashee Rice's return to how the defense locked down one of our greatest rivalries and to what this means moving forward. I'm putting it all on table, the great, the good, the could be better, and yes, what still needs fixing. So let's dive in. First off, let's talk about the shutout win. Shutouts are rare in the NFL, and for the Chiefs, this was particularly special. Our last regular season shutout prior to this past weekend was in 2011, also against the Raiders, funnily enough. And prior to that, in the off season, postseason, oh my word, it was the wild card win against the Houston Texans in 2016. So our last regular season shutout was in 2011. Our last shutout, playoffs, etc., 2016. So it had been a minute. Now, this shutout is historically significant for the Chiefs franchise and for Andy Reid's tenure because it's not just a win, it's a message. So here are some numbers that jump off the sheet real quick here. Final score, of course, as we've heard by now, Chiefs 31, Raiders 0. Goose egg. Kansas City got around 434 total yards in this game, and the Raiders were held to just 95 total yards. Sub 100, y'all. Kansas City had 30 first downs, while the Raiders only had 3 first downs. 3. Okay. Time of possession, we controlled the clock. 42 minutes, 8 seconds to the Raiders, 17 minutes and 52 seconds. Talk about domination. Patrick Mahomes was 26 of 35 for 286 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Let's talk about who received the ball, but more importantly, who scored the touchdowns here, because 9 different receivers touched the ball, but receiver Rashee Rice returned from suspension this week, and he scored 2 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown got a touchdown as well, and Isaiah Pacheco, aka Pops, also ran for a touchdown himself. These stats tell the story, y'all. An offense that was humming, a defense that was dominating, and the opposition barely breathing. Seriously. Now, what did we do well in this game? Let's celebrate what we absolutely got right in this game. Offense was at full throttle from the very get-go. Patrick Mahomes was locked in, the receiving core was clicking, and the run game kept the defense honest. Our defense had a statement performance this game. They held our division rival to 0 points, 3 first down, and kept him to under 100 yards. That's dominance. It's not luck. We executed out there. The time of possession and controlling the game, this was a big win for us. When we get to keep the ball, you keep the pressure off your defense and you wear down the opponent. And then the big plays when needed, the touchdowns were scored. There were 0 turnovers and there were big momentum swings for us in this game. So those were huge. I do want to mention some injuries and roster notes here, y'all. We were pretty healthy going into this game, I would say. The Raiders were not, as we know. There were some depth issues for them as well. And so that imbalance certainly played into the Chiefs' favor. However, as the game progressed, and especially towards the end there, defensive tackle Omarr Norman-Lott left the game with a knee injury, and it has been reported as of today, Monday, that I'm recording this, that it's an torn ACL, and it means that a key piece of our defense, is out for the season. So it's a torn ACL. He's done for the season. That's Omarr Norman-Lott, and he left the game towards the end of the game. Now, on the offensive line, Jawaan Taylor, a name that we usually associate with penalties, but he's had pretty clean games here, y'all. He left with a shoulder issue and is being monitored as we head into this next week here. So it's one of those that they are not highly concerned about. He didn't go into the medical tent or anything, whereas Omarr Norman-Lott was taken down to get x-rays pretty quickly. Now, Xavier Worthy did get tangled up on that jump ball pass that he received, but he was able to come back into the game a few plays later. So he did return to the game. We'll see what his status is ahead of this next week here as they get back into practices come tomorrow. So we'll see what it is, but he was able to return to the game, even though we saw that he was very frustrated on the sidelines after that jump ball pass. So let's keep an eye on that as well, because it would be very unfortunate to not have him, considering we just got Rashee Rice back. Now, let's spotlight some players and who stood out. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes. He is as Patrick Mahomes as it can get right now. He led the charge, he made throws, and he orchestrated the tempo of this game, and it was absolutely fantastic. Rashee Rice's return, his great expectations, all of that ahead of his return. There was a lot of hype surrounding this. So, and I just want to say that the hype was real. He scored 2 touchdowns. He was immediately impactful, and it was a lot of fun to see him out there. I think we were well into the second quarter before we saw Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown on the field at the same time, but it was worth the wait. Now, Brown and Worthy were also exceptional in this game. They made their plays and really helped stretch the field. And then on the defense, the front seven, the secondary, everybody was crashing in this game, and they made the Raiders really look powerless. So these are some of the names that really stood out from this game. And I also want to say Brashard Smith, you can keep running the ball. It was a lot of fun to watch this young man play, watch him run the ball. And there was a one point, and I think it was with Gardner Minshew in towards the end of the game, where we gave him the ball, like fed him 10 times in a row. And it was just great to watch and see him run. So let's talk about where we can improve, because even though this was a shutout performance, there are still areas where we can improve. So we need to continue to keep up the intensity. I think we did a pretty good job this game, but I think we've also seen as Chiefs Kingdom, there are times when we let up on the pedal, if you will, and allow our opponent to kind of creep back. Luckily, that didn't happen here, but there were moments where I was like, ooh, let's just keep that foot on the pedal and keep the pedal all the way to the floor. Fine tuning our third down execution even more would be great. We were good, but elite teams are flawless. And I know we are improving and we're really starting to come together and gel at the right time. And it's one of those things where this is why we shouldn't freak out so early in the season. Me, definitely guilty of that. But we are pacing and we are really picking up at the right time. So this has been a good thing for us. Now, also something to work on, which is not completely in our control, is staying healthy and managing the workload moving forward. So today's margin for error, or the game day's margin for error, was big, but we definitely use that in our favor. So continue to keep the intensity up. Let's fine tune those third down executions, and let's stay healthy as we move forward. Now, what does this mean for the season, y'all? The statement win that we had this week, a shutout win like this in this division sends the message that you can't take the Chiefs lightly. We're back in the mix, but we can't just dwell on this game, because every week it's the next opponent, who's coming next. The focus shifts to consistency, avoiding trap games, which this easily could have been. And anytime we play a division rivalry, that trap game mentality always creeps in. And we have to sustain what we did today. If this becomes our identity, we are so dangerous, and I'm so excited to watch how we pan out the rest of the weeks ahead here. We've got the Commanders next, and then we've got our AFC East rivals, the Buffalo Bills, and y'all know we tend to lose to the Bills in the regular season, but it would be wonderful to not have that happen this season and just be completely dominant from the inside out. I would love to see that. So, Chiefs Kingdom, what a win, what a shutout, big stats, big statement here. I want to hear your thoughts below. Did Rashee Rice and his return live up to the hype? Who was your MVP of this game? And what one thing do you want to see in this next game against the Commanders on Monday Night Football? Smash that like button, hit subscribe for more videos, pre-game videos, post-game recaps like this one, and then I'll see y'all next time for our next step. So as always, go Chiefs.